Meet the rotator cuffs, very important muscles that connect the arm bone to the shoulder blade, maintaining it really snugly connected and strong. Today I'll show you some exercises to feel how they activate and to strengthen them. So we'll start lying down on our backs. You need a towel or a soft ball underneath your arm bone. Lie comfortably and then place the towel, it's a rolled up towel, under between the shoulder blade and the arm bone. The elbow is bent to 90 degrees. Spend a moment to relax your breath and find the support of your pelvis into the ground, the rib cage, the shoulder blades, the back of the head. Neck is relaxed, breathing easy. The arm bone will start in this position with the fingertips on top of the elbow, and you are going to move it first in what's called outward rotation. So the fingers will rotate backward, and then resting the arm bone into the towel, you rotate it back to the ceiling and then back down toward the floor. So that's inward rotator or inward rotation. As you do the movement, it's important that you keep the shoulder blade stable on the towel as you rotate the arm bone in the socket of the shoulder blade. So it's also useful to have the other hand in front to feel that the arm bone stays back in the joint as you rotate it forward. So the movement of rotation is happening in the socket of the shoulder in a stable socket. I find this useful. I'm going to show you this way of really feeling the activation so that you can give yourself some resistance from the top. So for the other hand, and that is if you press at a count of 10, 9, 8, you will activate the inward rotators. Again, take care of not moving the front of the arm bone forward. Let's say that's a count of 10, and then you let go, and in many cases the arm bone will be able to move in outward rotation a little bit more. You free up that range. Then you return the arm bone back to vertical, and you find the inward rotation where you can go, and then you offer resistance from the top, and in that case you have to engage the outward rotators, and you'll feel the activation more in the top back of the arm bone. The shoulder blade is still stable, the ribs are stable, your breath is quiet, and then you take the resistance off and you see if the arm bone is able to release a little bit more into inward rotation. I would suggest doing this 2 more times, going in outward rotation. Once you're in outward rotation at your edge, you offer some resistance. Take care of not pushing from the wrist of the forearm on the left side, this is my left arm, but to find the activation right at the top of the arm bone without lifting it to the ceiling. And maybe that's 3, 2, 1, and then release, and see if you can find a little bit more inward rotation, and then find again the vertical position, rotate the arm bone inwardly, and you can see I got a little bit more range now, and then I'm going to apply some resistance. 3, 4, 5, that's from my inward rotators, actually inward rotator. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I feel that more in the front of the shoulder, and then you let go, and maybe it finds a little bit more, and then you're going to go up and back. Here's your inward rotators. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then you let the arm bone release, bring it back to vertical, find the inward rotation, and that's the outer rotators that give you the opposition. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. You will then do the other side. For economy of time, I am going to skip the other side, and I'm going to show you a movement that you can do by moving the towel more underneath the elbow. And then what you're going to do is sliding the arm away from your waist, and then returning the elbow toward the side. Inhaling out. As you return the elbow, the arm bone has to stay outwardly rotated so it's not pulling up to the ceiling as the elbow narrows toward your waist. Inhaling on the way out and exhaling on the way in. I'm keeping my sacrum steady. I'm imagining that collarbone staying broad and the top of the shoulder broadening as the elbows narrow. I'm just going to do 2 more, keeping my ribs quiet and a little bit of waist engagement. So you can do these movements on the other side, and then I think we should add this movement where you're going to center the arm bone. So taking the strap, this yellow strap, or a dowel, or a belt, or a towel, you're going to hold it gently in between the 2 hands, and I'd like you to let the weight of the arm bone drop into the socket of the shoulder, and then do small circles with both arms. Try to really move from a stable shoulder blade, which is down on the mat, finding a very smooth action, not from the wrist, but from the humeral head. Reverse it. Reverse it again. And maybe the side that is not as efficient can learn from the other side, working them a little bit together, but it's really to have the sensation of how the arm bone is snug inside the socket with the tissues that you warmed up and that you're aware of. Now, reverse. You can keep the humeral head centered in the socket as you rotate it. Okay, and then you're going to keep the sensation of the arm bone in the center of the socket, maintain that, and lift the hand by spreading the shoulder blades away from the mat, and then return them into the mat. Keep your ribs, the organs steady. I would say inhale on the way up and exhale on the way down. Useful here is to find the connection between the bottom of the blade and your baby finger. Try to keep your wrist fairly flat, knuckles going to the ceiling, the neck is not extending. Allow the arm bone to stay stable in the socket while it's carried by the shoulder blade. Because that what the rotator cuffs do is stabilizing also the top of the arm bone. Then we keep the arm bone steady for a moment. We find our middle position of the shoulder blades. Let's have it quite snug on the mat, but without pulling them toward each other. And you maintain that, and then you're going to pull the inside of the arm bones away from each other. So the strap comes toward your chest a bit, and then you return. So I need a little more space here. So humeral head deepens in the socket. The arm bone moves back in the same direction as your hands and wrist. So the arm bone doesn't poke forward like this or toward the ceiling. The shoulder blades are fairly stable. There's just a sensation of maybe narrowing a little bit as you do this and widening as you go to the ceiling. The neck is relaxed. Think about pulling the hands away from the inside edges of the arm bone, keeping the humeral head moving back in the socket. Inhale as you open, exhale as you close. So there is a cooperation here of the shoulder blade and the arm bone, though the mobile component of the exercise is the arm. Then you can change direction toward your forehead this time. Stabilize the shoulders and separate the arm bones. Allow the sensation of the humeral head gliding easily in the socket without pulling the socket forward or down. Inhale and exhale. How about now a third direction toward your diaphragm? Again, the shoulder blades are grounded, so are your kidneys. You separate the inside of the arm bone as your hands come down. So here too, you need to keep those shoulder blades, they're snaring a little bit, but the humeral head has to keep excursioning in the socket without pulling itself and the socket forward. Inhale, exhale. Last two. Now, very useful, the same idea of finding a cooperation between the arm bone and the shoulder blade is to move on your side. You could have a weight, 1 pound weight or 2 pound weight in your hand, and you lift the arm to the ceiling. And here I think I lost you.